2020 Cumberland County Commissioners Virtual.
We don't need to do it.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners, and welcome to the May 14, 2020 Cumberland County Commissioners Virtual Workshop Meeting. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance by saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I call this meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. and at this time open up the floor to public comments. The Commissioners received comments for this meeting from Teresa Myers, and responses to her comments have already been provided on behalf of the Commissioners. Ms. Myers expressed the need for retail stores to open in the county, for persons to return to work with necessary precautions, and she expressed the belief that we cannot be locked down indefinitely. Are there any other public comments?
Yes, there are public comments. I would like my whole statement read.
Well, I'm going to address this, Teresa. This is, we generally would not spend an extended amount of time on things that are frankly not county business. And the responses have already been circulated to you, which have been circulated elsewhere as well. We are taking the written comment, we're introducing it into the record so it'll be attached to the minutes, so it's available to anyone. I'm also proposing to have my responses attached to the minutes as well, since we did take a considerable amount of time to answer your questions. And it's up to Commissioner DeFilippo if he wants his introduced into the record as well.
I'm fine with that.
So everything's gonna be part of the record, Teresa. Every question you have is there verbatim, and it's available to anybody. The minutes are posted online? Okay, so it's available. And we do have a substantial amount of real county business to address. The issue of opening, not opening, I think we've made very clear, is not county business. We have no legal authority on that issue. Our job is to continue to run the machinery of county government, which is substantial in the midst of a lockdown and public health crisis and a state of emergency. That's where our focus is. That's where we're putting our time. Unfortunately, we've been forced to waste a lot of time in the last few days on issues that are not related to our core mission as a board of commissioners. And in the interest of getting our job done, we're going to focus on our agenda here, because this is the work that we were elected to do. So,
I would like to make a comment. I would like to make my objection that I'm being denied my right to make a verbal public comment. I would like that noted in the note that I had submitted because it was either to be verbal or written. I submitted it in writing that it is being denied the right for me to make a 3-minute verbal comment.
Okay, well.
Please record that. Thank you.
All right, I'll say this much. I will give you 3 minutes, but we are going to hold it to that. We have a substantial amount of actual county business, so you can make your points, but you have 3 minutes to do it because we are here to conduct actual county business. So your time starts now. Are you there? Teresa?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, go ahead. Your 3 minutes starts now.
Dear Commissioners, I understand your reluctance to go against Governor Wolf. He has, in the response to bordering counties saying that they would like to reopen, that he would revoke business license, liquor license, occupancy license, and professional license if they choose to open in defiance. The Cumberland County Commissioners, fearing repercussions, did not join many of the bordering counties. I would like to state, one, there is little difference between yellow and red phases, but the county can't get to yellow without going through, can't get without going through yellow. If it is okay for me to shop at Target and Walmart taking necessary precautions, why can't I shop at other stores like Boss Cost, Joe A. Banks, and Talbot's taking the same precautions? If it is okay for correctional officers, police officers, nursing home workers, and grocery store workers to take the risk or to go to work being infected for our convenience or safety, why can't other businesses with the same protocol do this? COVID-19 is highly contagious with no vaccine and low immunity. We will likely see a spike in cases, but there is no guarantee a vaccine will be anytime soon, so we can't hold out for that. I feel the government's job is to educate the residents on the risk of the disease, how to protect ourselves, and instruct businesses on the precautions they should take. But people should be given the liberty with that information to choose the risk they want to take. If we start to move to green, some people may decide it's in their best interest to continue to stay at home. This is still allowed. The number of new infections, number 6, per 100,000 is not as important to Governor Wolf as he has said. Why on a Friday, he will announce that a region on the following Friday can open up and no assurance that that region's numbers will continue in a downward trajectory. He is making his decision based on information he has on a Friday of the announcement that he can reopen next week. So why can't they just reopen then? What is the science behind making them wait? If Governor Wolf was so concerned about infecting people with the virus, even the most vulnerable who are a substantial risk for a poor outcome, namely death, his Department of Health would not have had a directive that active COVID-19 contagious residents could be returned to the nursing home they originated from. What is the science behind that? Why is the Governor Wolf encouraging IgG antibody tests to see how many people, even with the current lockdown, have been infected and recovered?
Teresa, your time is up. I'll give you 30 seconds to wrap up.
Okay, I would like to say that I timed myself on my computer, and it was not 3 minutes. Thank you for your time.
All right, well, we have clocks too, so, all right. She appears to have hung up, so, but I'm gonna say this anyhow for anyone else who may have been listening or who wants to tune in on the YouTube. We've taken our time as commissioners, which right now is not a small price. And both Commissioner DiFilippo and myself, and for other individuals, Commissioner Flashy, have invested a significant amount of time answering a lot of the emails and comments directed to us that candidly are simply misdirected. That shouldn't come to us. The central question is very simple here. And that is, does the county have the power or does it not to address these issues that have been put before us? And there's almost unanimous legal opinion that we do not. We do not have this authority. I understand the issues that are being raised here, and I understand the strong opinions. I will note that Commissioner DiFilippo and I both sent very detailed responses to help fill in some of the factual gaps in what's being stated here. And we didn't have to do that because this is not county business per se. But we've done it. We're trying to inform and educate the public not only on the issue as we know it, but the real issue, which is that the county doesn't have this responsibility. And frankly, I'm really concerned at how much time we have had to spin our wheels when we have a county government that needs our attention for the legitimate job of county government, which is currently operating under the state of emergency. We have furloughed employees. We are trying to continue delivering governmental services and delivering them effectively. We're preparing for the economic wreckage that's going to come out of this crisis. That is our job. We are doing our job. There are a lot of people in this debate who are not doing their job. We could have a long discussion on who those are and why that is. But that's not the focus of our meeting here today. And it's not the focus of the county commissioners in general. So we're going to insert these into the record, as I stated earlier. It's all there. Our responses are gonna be there as well. We've provided ample time for public commentary on issues that have no bearing on county business, quite frankly. We don't run the county, we run the county government. We don't run the economy. We're here to support local community partners such as our businesses and community groups. But we don't run things here, and we sure as heck don't have the ability to break the law. The criticism that the governor's breaking the law is something to be taken up with others, not us. But the answer surely is not for us to turn around and break the law. So we frankly just don't have time to engage in partisan paintball, because this game of paintball is not as harmless as the game. This is not a game. So the partisan activity can continue. We've come to expect it in the current political environment, but this county board of commissioners is focused on the job at hand, which is managing the county government and doing it in a manner that serves the public, and particularly in a way that serves our taxpayers. So that is our focus. That's where we're going to continue to keep our focus. We will certainly try to inform people as best we can, but we're not stepping into this political food fight. So that's my commentary in response. So we've been more than fair and more than patient, quite frankly. We have a big job ahead of us, all of us. So if there's no other public comment from someone else, then I'll turn it back over to Stacy so we can actually conduct county business.
Are there any additional public comments? Hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 3, and I'll call on Jillian Yoder to discuss resolution 2020-15 regarding the Emergency Solutions Grant CV 2020 application. Jillian?
Yes, good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, thank you for verifying. On behalf of Cumberland County, the Redevelopment Authority is considering an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, PADCD, for the Emergency Solutions Grant totaling $79,500 for 18 months. The county has an existing administration agreement for this grant with the Redevelopment Authority. Under the CARES Act of 2020, DCED is providing supplemental ESG funds to support efforts to mitigate the impacts created by the coronavirus among those experiencing homelessness. As of 8 a.m. this morning, Cumberland County has 174 households experiencing homelessness and looking for permanent housing. This number comes directly from the coordinated entry system, which homeless providers utilize, prioritize, and assist applicants. In our county, both Community Cares and the Domestic Violence Services of Cumberland County, DVSCP, have remained open and accepted new intakes during this pandemic when all other shelters in surrounding counties have shut down. CARES has continued their street outreach program throughout the county when all other outreach efforts have stopped in surrounding counties. Both shelters have been lodging their guests at hotels to assist with social distancing and quarantining. CARES has even gone as far as setting up a hygiene station in Carlisle. These agencies truly have the interest of public health in the forefront of their minds right now, and they can utilize these funds immediately. CARES is requesting $50,000 for homelessness prevention and street outreach funds. The homelessness prevention funds would complement their outreach program very well by being able to provide financial and short-term rental assistance to applicants they encounter. They can quickly remove them from their unsheltered location and safely house them. Part of the funding request does include hiring of new staff to assist with these efforts. DVSCP is requesting $25,000 for emergency shelter and rapid rehousing funds. This agency serves 2 counties, but these funds would only be utilized in Cumberland County. Their emergency shelter is in need of additional cleaning supplies to disinfect the building, and the rapid rehousing funds would be used for relocating their shelter guests to a safe location, providing short-term rental and financial assistance. The Redevelopment Authority is requesting $4,500 for administrative and data entry costs. This application does not require any match like the previous ones do. We are requesting the adoption of the resolution authorizing submission to DCED and signature of the language access plan certification. Applications are due June 1st, and that's why I'm requesting action at your Monday, May 18th Board of Commissioners meeting to facilitate the necessary paperwork. At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Jillian?
No.
I have none.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you.
Next, I'll move on to agenda item 4, which are contracts and grants. There are no existing contracts contract extensions, or addenda with no additional cost or increase to the county. So I'll move on to agenda item 4.2, which consists of new contracts, vendors, services, grants, and contracts with increases and decreases to the county. And I'll start by calling on Melissa Smith to discuss the agreements and grants for CNRC. Melissa?
Good morning. The first contract is with Aetna, it's a revenue contract. We do have an existing contract with them, but this is to increase the rate. The level one rate is currently $350, it will go up to $385. That's a 10% increase. Level two is at $350, that will go up to $400. That's a 14% increase. Level three, which is complex care, is currently $400 and will go up to $525. And the ICU level, which rarely impacts us, is going from $500 to $625. They are also offering in the contract some specific carve-outs for medication. There's, again, no cost to us in the revenue contract. The one caveat I'd like to mention here is that the contract does require an electronic signature. Any questions on the Aetna contract?
I have none.
Okay. The next contract is Hospice of Central PA. This is an update of the 2014 contract. The respite care is, we currently get paid $149.27. The new contract will give us a daily rate of $325 per day. That's a 118% increase. They will also pay for therapy services at $70 per visit. And they will also, at this point, purchase durable medical equipment that is needed by residents. If at any time that one of their residents requires what they call inpatient hospice care, which is just a higher level of care, they'll pay that at 90% of the Medicare rate. Any questions on this revenue contract?
No.
Okay, then the final contract is actually a grant. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid are offering grants to facilities to purchase devices to assist residents to speak with their families. The grant is a civil money penalty grant, and we can get up to $2,000. We are asking for $2,220 to purchase 6 iPads. And this is annotated. And again, it's specifically to allow residents to speak with their family members. Currently, we do have some Kindles that we purchased from Amazon, but the use of those aren't real effective. It's very delayed. And these iPads would be a great asset for us to use. It would be one for each unit. What questions can I answer on this? Oh, and it needs to be signed. It has to be emailed to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid by tomorrow. And I just received the information last Friday.
Do we need to act on that then?
Yes, it is action
Oh,
requested.
okay. All right. Are there any further questions before we call the motion?
Just one, and it's minor. Melissa, could you repeat the amount again that this grant request is for?
$2,220.
It's only $20, but that's not reflected on our document.
No, it's
But
not.
we'll make note of that. It's minor.
I'm so sorry.
That's right. We'll
Just want to make sure it's accurate, that's all.
Yeah, it'll be reflected in the minutes, so
Yeah.
everyone can
Yeah.
first to and see it. So good catch. All right. Any additional questions on that?
No.
No.
Okay, very good. I'll entertain a motion.
I'm gonna move to approve the grant application amount of $2,200 for the county nursing home, and this money is the civil money penalty reinvestment communicative technology request And the purpose is to purchase 6 iPads to allow residents to communicate over Skype Zoom with their loved ones due to visitation restrictions.
The motion, I believe, should be 2,220.
You're correct, sorry, Vince.
That's okay.
Right,
So the amount is $2,220.
yeah, with that noted, do we have a second?
I second, yes.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries unanimously. Okay, next please.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I'll call on Michelle Seibert to discuss a grant award for the district attorney's office. Michelle?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is our grant to fund 100% of a new detective and up to a half salary of an assistant district attorney to work with the detective on investigating and prosecuting the retailers and other people who are engaging in illegal gambling. We presented before the salary board yesterday. Are there any other questions?
I
Aye.
Okay.
No.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Next, I'll call on Sue Carville to discuss the 3 agreements for NHIDD. Sue?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Okay. Good morning.
Morning, Sue.
So we have 3 contracts of HIDD. The first 2 are for intellectual and developmental disabilities. The first one is for Dole Incorporated, and it's amended to increase their contract by $42,881 due to additional respite services they have been providing for us. The second contract is with Marquis of Pennsylvania. It is a new contract. They took on a new consumer for us who was just released from Hershey Medical Center after spending an extended period of time there. And this new contract is for $5,000 for them to perform behavior assessment and subsequent behavior support for this individual. And the last contract is for mental health. It's for the NHS Stevens Center. It is an increase of $74,584 to the current contract due to additional services for assertive community and targeted case management. Is there any questions?
I have no questions on that, Sue, but, and I'm sorry to do this, but, I neglected to get in touch with you or Annie in regards to an update report, since we don't have board meetings and things are a little disrupted around here lately. And if I could, please, if everyone would indulge me, I'd like to step out of the agenda for a second, since you're on the line, and ask, sorry to put you on the spot, but are there any updates for the commissioners on where things are in terms of your folks? I'm sorry about putting you on the spot. If you would just want to send the reports to me, I know we normally would have minutes and reports, but if there's any, like the director's reports that you and Annie would do, I don't know if you're still preparing those without the board meetings or not, but if you could send those to me, then I'll summarize them and circulate them to the other commissioners, if that's easier.
Sure, we can do that. We have our director's reports from last month's board meeting.
Okay.
I can send
Well,
them.
that's right. There was one held through, I guess, WebEx. I was unable to attend. So if you could make sure I get those, I'll take care of the rest of it. Sorry to be disruptive here. But,
Okay.
all right. Thank you
All
for
right, I
that.
will do that.
Thank you, Sue. Agenda item number 5 is a notice of intent requesting election security grant funds, which was signed by Sandy Moyle on behalf of Cumberland County. The notice of intent for the grant funds, the funds must be used for permissible expenditures, which include additional personnel, equipment, approved expenditures essentially related to Act 77, ransomware, increased security of voting systems and ballots, increased expenditures to expand and support votes by mail, and the monies must be spent between December 21st, 2019 and December 31st, 2022. This is an action requested item to reaffirm that approval.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to reaffirm approval of notice of intent requesting election security grant funds as documented.
I'll second.
Okay, so moved and seconded. If there's no further questions or comments, we'll call the motion. So, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Agenda item number 6 is a notice of intent requesting CARES Act grant funds, which was also signed by Sandy Moyle on behalf of Cumberland County. And these funds are to assist with permissible costs between January 20th, 2020 and December 31st, 2020, and they must be used for increased election expenses arising from COVID-19. To include voter notification and education, increased costs for mail-in and absentee voting, and supplies to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. This is also, Commissioners, an action requested item.
Okay, are there any questions before we? Okay, at this point, I'll entertain a motion in regards to this.
I'm going to move to reaffirm the approval of notice of intent requesting CARES Act grant funds as set forth in our materials.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. There's no further comments or questions. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to the Commissioners' liaison reports, and I'll start by calling on Commissioner Eichelberger.
Only briefly, we did have the executive committee meeting for K-8. Obviously, the topic of the day for everyone is business recovery in the midst of the COVID emergency. I think I've already given you a written outline of some of the major items that were there. Nothing to add to that. There was a pause just to kind of catch our breath in terms of the Policy and Planning Committee with the strategic blueprint. But we are reconvening via a go-to meeting next week to discuss the same documents that were discussed at the last one. We just took some time to digest that and free up some time, frankly, to work on the COVID response as well. So I don't have much more on that. The only other thing I wanted to add was I opened a phone call. I received a note yesterday from Jesse McCree, who heads up the South Central PA Care Works, which is essentially the workforce investment board for the 8-county region. And it's in regards to some response up to the COVID situation as the economy reopens. And specifically, what he is addressing here is the Career Link, which of course is the job center, publicly directed job center, and we maintain one here in Carlisle. We're expecting that that's going to be, frankly, a real challenge to manage that in a manner that the crisis situation requires. So they're looking to make some changes and additions and apparently qualifying for some additional funds to upgrade the facilities and the capabilities there while maintaining social distancing. Again, just as it is here, very challenging environment, and we're spending a lot of time on trying to manage these situations. So he sent me a little bit of information. I'll circulate that once I speak to him by phone today. I don't want to burden you with a lot of extraneous stuff, so let me get the lay of the land on that and get back to you on that. But it does show that workforce development is an area that we know is going to be in flux considerably as a result of the COVID situation, COVID-19 situation. And just like us, a lot of agencies are scrambling and trying to determine what's the best way to come out of this and to do it so that it's effective, but it also takes into consideration all the challenges that we're going to continue to face. So that's all I have on that.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Eichelberger. Commissioner Washington.
My only updates, local emergency planning committee, we are meeting this afternoon, and the entire scope of the meeting will be COVID-19 and how to deal with it and what we're anticipating. Planning Commission meets next week, and the Library System Board meets next week. Commissioner Eichelberger, when you mentioned Career Link, the Cumberland County Library System has a business center within the library system. I don't know if there's an opportunity for the two to work together Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, just an idea.
Thank you, I'll pass that along.
And finally, I will once again let you know that, of course, with the Cumberland County Library System, there are plenty of resources there to use while you are in quarantine. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Bosch. Commissioner DiFilippo.
Yes, the Aging Advisory Board will meet tomorrow, but for ag preservation, the board met yesterday, and the week prior, the ranking committee met yesterday. And a week ago. Yesterday's ag board meeting, the board approved the making offers to 11 farms for this year, a total of 950 acres. 9 of the farms were selected via the traditional route, and 2 farm applications from Silver Spring were approved to make offers. That accounts for 182 acres. In the past, the offers, the co-broking with Silver Spring has been 50-50, 50% for the township, 50% for the county. And this round of selections for these 2 farms in Silver Spring will be paying 70% of the cost, and the county will submit or provide 30% of the easement value. That vote was unanimous, and that's all I have for that.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner DiFilippo. I would like to report that an executive session was held on May 13th, 2020 at 9:30 a.m. regarding personnel. And I will ask if there is any other business that needs to come before the board today. Hearing none, we will adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.